Okay, so it's, Jesse, I'm recording it to the cloud.
Yes, please.
Okay. So,
And then they'll email it to you, just so you know.
okay, so it is recording now.
Okay, so Mylan, since you're the vice president, can you please open and run the meeting? Mrs. Kennedy isn't with us right now.
If Miley can't, one of us will, no worries.
She's connecting to audio.
She's connecting to audio, so give her a second. She's connected now. Mylan,
Yes,
Mrs. Kennedy isn't here right now, so as the vice president, can you open and start the meeting? We'll walk you through the pieces since you don't, none of you have paper in front of you.
sure.
All right, so we need a motion and a second to convene a public session, an emergency meeting of the Board of Education of the Connecticut School District. So Mylan, please call for a motion and a second.
Motion,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
We need to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Jackie, you want to lead us? I know you do. Your mic is off. Jackie, your mic is off. No one can hear you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Jesse, do you want to call the roll or do you want to have Christina do it?
I could do that. That's fine. We have Mrs. Augulus,
Present,
Mrs. Mallon,
Present.
Mr. Murphy,
Present.
Mrs. Napolitano Furno, Mrs. Napolitano Furno,
Present, sorry, I was having a trouble with Mike.
appreciate it. Dr. Adams,
Present.
we also have Mrs. Incerillo, District Clerk Pro Tem,
Present.
and myself.
Okay, so I'm going to ask that Mrs. Incerillo read what you need to vote on. The first is a resolution not to have the meeting posted because it was an emergency meeting, so I'm going to ask her to read that for you all.
Okay, meeting notice waiver. Be it resolved that in connection with this special meeting, the Board of Education hereby waives any notice periods required to be given to the members of the Board of Education in advance of any regular and/or special meeting of the board as required by any district policy and/or regulation.
Jesse, do we need to vote on that? Is that a motion, a second to accept that?
I'm thinking there is a motion for that.
Okay, so Milo, I'm going to ask you to call for a motion in a second and then a vote on that to accept that.
I'm calling for a motion, I'll motion.
I'll second.
All in
favor?
favor?
In favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
The second is a resolution to appoint counsel for amicus curiae brief on behalf of the Board of Education. Resolved that the Board of Education hereby appoints Nicholas C. Reggiano Esquire of the law firm of Reggiano LLC to serve as pro bono special counsel for the Board of Education in connection with the matter discussed. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education authorizes Nicholas C. Reggiano Esquire of the law firm of Reggiano LLC to commence any needed pro bono legal action necessary for the submission of an amicus curiae brief on behalf of the Board of Education in connection with the January 28th, 2022 hearing in the case of Michael Demetrio et al. Versus New York State Department of Health et al., docket number 2022-00532, index number 616124-2021, currently pending before the Supreme Court of the State of New York Appellate Division, Second Department, and to submit such amicus curiae brief subject to the final approval and review of the President of the Board of Education and at no cost to the Connecticut Central School District and/or the Board of Education of the Connecticut Central School District. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education authorizes the President of the Board of Education to execute any necessary pleadings in connection with the above referenced legal action and submission of an amicus curiae brief on behalf of the Board of Education. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the pro bono retainer agreement with Nicholas C. Reggiano Esquire of the law firm of Reggiano LLC and authorizes the President of the Board of Education to execute such retainer agreement on behalf of the Board of Education.
I'll call for a motion, but I also want a roll call vote.
Mylon, can I stop you for a second? Should that, all of that say the president and or the vice president? That way, if one of you cannot be reached, since this is such a time crunch.
Yes, Yes,
That week.
great idea, Linda.
So can we amend that?
As
Christina,
amended,
to say
okay.
The president and or the vice
I
president?
am here. Anyone know?
okay.
I'm here.
No, this is just in case someone can't sign the legal documents in a timely fashion because you're at work or you're, indisposed. It gives the opportunity to have both people sign that.
Okay,
Yes, Linda.
Okay, I just need a motion on this, where we're still now
motion
Motion.
second, all in favor,
for the, as amended.
as amended.
And we're voting in the resolution. This is the resolution for the brief, just in
Correct.
case we're too late for the brief. Correct?
So you also want to use this as the potential to file a letter in support if we're too late to be part of the amicus curiae? Is that what you're saying, Jackie?
Yes, yes. Just so
Okay.
that we don't have to do this again, we have it. It would be the same thing. It would just be the letter showing that this went on and they would attach it to the brief.
Okay. So I guess we need, Mrs. Kennedy, if you'll call for a motion in a second.
Motion,
I'll second.
who's motioning?
Marisol
Just-
motion,
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion so carried. Now, Linda, you also got a consensus this morning to do the survey, so I just want to make sure that
yes, my
You-
phone just rang. Mrs. Pulliam and I were about to start working on how to have that happen. So it's just our parents and not that it can be sent worldwide and have people who aren't being impacted by our decisions. So we're trying to figure out how to have that happen. So that's why my phone just rang.
okay, all right. So do I have to come in inside?
Linda, may I ask you a question? Does
Sure.
it depend on the IEP or how do you define, how do you refrain it so it does not get out there that anybody can just fill a survey out?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I've had districts that do it through the log on for their parent portal accounts, which I think is a fair way to do it, except if someone has 10 children and one person has one child, I don't think a person should have 10 votes. So that's why I needed to talk to Elise as to how we could kind of narrow that down so that every
Household.
family has one vote. Yeah, and multiple, if I have a father and a stepfather and a mother and a stepmother and they all have portal accounts, that parent also gets 4 votes. So we're going to try to figure out how to make it fair, so that every household has one piece to input. That may
Sounds
take us a little while. It may not go out today or tomorrow. It may, I just want the right data. I don't want data that's skewed either way.
I
Thank you.
agree with you.
Appreciate that.
I agree, thank you.
And I'm gonna have to go in because I have I wrote my password down, but it's not working. I can't get on to my account on my phone.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, is this meeting done so that everybody, let's get out of the meeting and then we'll.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you all for doing this.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
All right.
Have a good day,
Okay, everyone.
everybody.
Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.